Oh, I'm like all up in the screen. Look
Mm.
at me. Look at me.
Or
Like,
push yourself back a little bit then.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Hey, everybody. Yeah, we are live. We are live a little bit earlier today, and it's not morning. It's afternoon, like early one Sunday morning. Early one
No, no,
Sunday
no, no.
morning. What?
Wrong.
Okay, what?
Early.
One Sunday
That's how your boy did it now.
morning. Right? Okay. Yep. Breakfast was on the
Which
table.
version is you doing? One
Um,
version you might get jumped.
I'm doing the spinners. I thought.
Mess around and get jumped up in here, boy. Them people don't play.
Okay, it's definitely earlier than our usual live, but it's all good because we're dealing with a mamacita here and we got to get it done. And actually, that's cool with us too because then I can go start my fire. Put a fire in the fireplace and
Well, I hope you weren't trying to burn nothing down.
get ready to kick it, and all that good type of stuff. Okay. All right. So, once again, if you have never, ever heard of us before, never, ever heard of us before, we are Rufus and Jenny Triplet, husband and wife team. We have been married 31 years.
We here.
31 years, 30 plus 1, 31 years. And we are co-authors of the best-selling book, Surviving Marriage in the 21st Century. 13 easy tips that can help you get to 20 years and beyond. Okay, easy tips. All right. We also have a workbook that goes with that. Is getting back to the swoon on the honeymoon. Surviving marriage and get back to the swoon on the honeymoon. See, that's us. See us swooning.
Nope.
We swooning.
Nope.
Okay. 25 ways in 25 days. And this is for couples who are having problems with intimacy and touch and different things like that, where the honeymoon then fell out your marriage and y'all know who y'all are. We wouldn't have created it if it wasn't a need for it because we counsel all kinds of couples.
How do you fall out the marriage?
I said,
Did you fall down some
if
stairs
the
or something?
honeymoon has falling out of the marriage, the honeymoon fell
I
out.
just wanted
which
somebody to break a leg or something.
Which means like the intimacy, the touch, the closeness, the all of that. Because a lot of times that's all that's just missing in the marriage is communication with touch.
Is that all that be missing?
That
ain't all they be missing. Sometimes they be touching people and don't in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Come up with black eyes and stuff.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And we also have the couples card game. Okay, surviving marriage. 99 questions for one great conversation. And then this is for the couples that are having a hard time talking to one another. Y'all know who y'all are, right?
What is it? Is a language barrier?
Yeah, no.
Somebody might speak Spanish.
The ones that don't seem to know how to communicate.
And then they speak Spanish when they communicate. That's a problem up in there.
You don't seem to know how to communicate. You can't seem to get yourself to talk to your mate in a way that you guys are actually jiving so you can be thriving. Oh, check that out. Did I rhyme?
Rhyme in Spanish.
Did I rhyme? I got bars.
Rhyme in French.
I got bars. See, it's good. It's good that I'm working on that.
I really give you some bars if you're rhyming French.
Because we got a rapper that's our guest today. And hey,
speak a different language for me.
What? I don't know how to say
kiss what? Don't be saying that in no other language.
I did not say that.
Yeah.
You need to stop. You need to stop. Okay. All right. So joining us today, and we're going to be talking about something you guys really need to tune into here, because it's like hours and hours and hours of our lives are being just spent on these apps. It's time that you really
gotta quit scrolling, boy, because you start scrolling, you be scrolling all day.
And Apple, if you guys have an Apple phone with like screen time is a dry snitch, and it will tell you exactly how much time you.
That's my boy right there. Be letting me know you need to get off this thing.
You really spent on these apps, and it maybe you don't even realize it or seem like it, and then it pops up like, okay, 16 hours. 16 hours.
I wonder who's be saying 16 hours. The show ain't man.
It's only 24 hours in a day. Like, how do you spend 16 hours
in front of a screen? How to close the screen.
Yeah, scrolling on these apps. But it happens. It happens, and it's not a good thing.
It happens to the weak among
It's not a good thing. Okay, so joining us today is a Syrian American rapper,
Speak that language.
Activist was serious.
Mm-hmm.
Don't test me.
Girl, what's up?
Don't test me.
I can't help you, but what's up?
Rapper, activist, and our homegirl from Flint.
What?
From Flint.
Well, where was she at?
She from Flint.
I missed this one.
She from Flint. Well, we gonna talk about that. Okay. Mona Haydar, the most Mona in the house.
Whoa, Flint town up in here. Oh, you just wanted to save that for the show? You want to tell me about my Flint town was coming?
Oh no, I didn't tell you. I didn't
want from Flint. Hold on. Are you all from Flint?
I would be surprised. He's from Flint. He grew
I'm
up
from
in
the
Flint.
Flying T. But shout.
Are you for real? That's crazy.
Yeah, we gonna talk about that. I grew up in Saginaw.
She grew up in Sag Nasty. She don't know nothing about the Flying T.
Are you kidding me? I used to spend so much time in Flint. What are you talking about? That's how I met you in Flint. What are you talking about?
My fault. I forgot.
Yeah.
30 years with them went past.
But where are you, Mona? You done got ghost. Is it because of COVID? You know, what's going on with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you were talking about earlier really resonated with me. I'm somebody who just noticed how much time I've been spending on my phone, online. And I just want to be more present in my life and, you know, take advantage of my time and do the things I actually want to be doing rather than, I mean, like memes are great, but like not for hours at a time. So, you know, in a certain way, I felt like social media felt like it was becoming a part of my life. And I wanted to be giving what I wanted to social media and not having it be, you know, like Prince at that award show was talking about how like
being a slave.
Yeah. Yes. And how, you know, you can't let the computers control you. And I felt sort of like addicted, you know, I felt like I was being controlled. I felt myself constantly reaching for my phone, always wanting to pick it up. And I just didn't like that. I'm somebody who doesn't like to feel controlled.
It's an addiction.
So did you just put it down or
like,
what?
Seriously, for real. It's
1, 2, 3. I ain't gonna look at it today.
Well, hold on. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more, but I want to find out. So you're from Flint. We talked about that a little bit. You're from Flint. And
she's from the Flying T.
If you haven't been living under a rock in the U.S., everybody knows what's going on in Flint, the crisis and different things, and it's been going on for quite some time. Mm-hmm. But
she's a youngin', ain't she?
There's two different. You're not gonna ask a lady her age.
Well, what I'm saying is, I don't know if she been there for the water crisis.
That's not happening. Look, the water crisis is just come on now, like 4 years. You know,
she looked young to me.
So she wouldn't know 4 years ago about the water crisis in the last 4 years of what we've been going through.
Yes, but she's a youngin'. Okay. She's an old dog like me.
Anywho,
I did live in Flint actually when the water crisis first started. My husband and I moved from New Mexico, where we had been living, back to Flint to be with my parents for a little bit. We were transitioning my dad into a care facility. He had Parkinson's disease. And so we were helping him move out of the house so he could get more help. And while we were there, actually, my husband and I were working at Edible Flint, which is a local community garden. And that was when we started to hear about the lead in the water. That was when everything started going down. People were starting to get sick. People were starting to get the rashes, and all the other stuff was getting started. And they had been under emergency management for a while. And subhanAllah, we were there, and we actually got our son tested for lead at that time because we were eating all this food that had been grown in downtown Flint, right across from Hurley Hospital, where this community garden was. And, you know, we spent a lot of time downtown. My parents actually don't live in the city of Flint. They live in the town.
Oops.
They live in the township of Flint. Yeah. So
okay, so let's talk about your experiences as far as growing up, because you grew up Muslim in Flint.
Yeah.
Well, they got smart though. She said, "Get the dog, get the babies, get everybody. We're going to Mexico. Let's go, partner."
He grew up Black in Flint. So let's talk about, the differences as far as that was concerned. And did you grow up in the city of Flint and then your parents moved later, or you grew up outside of Flint?
So we had a lot of moves, as is very typical with an immigrant family. My family actually started out in Chicago, and then moved to Detroit, and then moved to Davison, I think it was.
Davidson.
Davidson. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, buddy. It was some.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what they were doing up in Davidson. My fault.
And then Flint. And they were, I think they were in the city of Flint at first, and then they moved out to the township. So it was a lot of moving back and forth. And then I was actually born in Saudi. And then the Gulf War happened. And so my parents were back and forth from Flint in the 80s and 90s until 1990, when they quickly jet set it back to Flint because of the Gulf War. So yeah, I mean, I grew up Arab in a community of I grew up Arab in a community that was very predominantly white in the Flint Township. And then as sort of a young Muslim who was interested in branching out, I was very lucky to be able to move out to expand my horizons a little bit and be exposed to the poetry scene in downtown Flint, which was amazing. Alhamdulillah. And it was actually,
We sure did. Look at her.
Y'all had a
She
poetry
know her
scene?
Flint town, girl.
Okay. Where? 'Cause
Downtown.
yeah, but I don't remember where.
Over there by the water park.
Okay.
I mean, it was down. It was down
I'm
like
just saying,
by
I missed-
Hyatt Regency. You was all in the Hyatt Regency area.
I'm just saying, I just missed that part.
so I went to U of M Flint. And then around 14 years old, I started going to the poetry.
Oh, she was around that Saginaw Street.
Yeah, exactly. MLK. And my family was actually very close to the Imam of the masjid there, Imam Hanafi, and Sister Iris. Very close.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, very, very close with our family, alhamdulillah. And, so I had the fortune, the good fortune, and the blessing to be amongst beautiful Black people who taught me how it was okay to be myself as a little girl in Flint. I didn't have to pretend I was white. I didn't have to do any of that, gymnastics to contort myself into somebody I wasn't, And it was actually a Black woman in Flint, Dr. Tracy Curry, who was my professor.
That name seems familiar.
Yeah, possibly she was a professor even in Flint for a long time, but she's the one who really opened my eyes to see that poetry didn't just have to be a hobby like I was told it was. And it was the Flint poetry scene that really made me who I am and changed my life. It was downtown Flint that I am who I am because of downtown Flint, for sure.
Dang, boy, I ain't no little Flint had it like that, boy. Well, Flint got a little power to him.
Well, hopefully when they start doing the stuff that came out of Flint, maybe she'll start getting mentioned in that, because they always talk about Ready for the World, or Clarissa Shields.
I don't know about no Ready for the World.
Or Clarissa Shields and everything, but we don't get the most Mona. So you're a strong activist and advocate for a few different things, but you're so young.
I told you she was young.
You're so young.
Trying to trick me.
Where does the passion come from for you to talk about real issues? You have Ask a Muslim, where you wanted to, dispel myths about, Muslims and Islam. And then of course you advocate for hijab and the freedom for hijabis and different things like that. So where does the passion come from?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was taught from an early age that if you're going to spend your time on something, you better be spending it in a good way and telling the truth and doing it in a way that, when God asked you on the last day, what did you do with this thing that you were given? That I can say, I did my best. I tried to tell the things that needed to be told and do what I needed to do. So I think my parents just raised me like that. But also in Flint, in the slam scene and the poetry scene, if you were just talking about some garbage, you didn't win. If you were talking about real stuff, if you were talking about vulnerable stuff, if you were putting yourself on blast in a way and you were telling the truth, even about yourself, you would do better. So I learned early on that vulnerability and speaking truth to domination was powerful, not just in the way of like, it makes for good poetry, but in the way of like it opens doors that a lot of people are afraid to open.
Should have spoke to some old school folks for that.
So you did like the whole Eminem 8 Mile thing. You just made it all about you.
I don't know. I don't know about Eminem, but yeah, I mean, I just try to speak what I know, and not to speak beyond what I know, because I feel like we lie if we
That's
speak.
right. You can't get caught. You can't get caught if you speak the truth.
Yeah, and if you put all of your truth out there, nobody else can take that from you. Like it's your truth.
Yeah, like I'm not out here trying to say like I invented hijabis and rap, or I invented,
Nah, but it's you.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not trying to say that I'm the first anything, or I'm, I am what I am, and I learned what I learned, and all I can do is share it. And that's all we can ever do is tell the truth, I think.
So I'm sure trying to tell the truth around here.
Where does being a rapper come from? Like just one day you're sitting up like, sitting around like, ooh, I sound pretty good. I got bars, or
that's like some of them people who be singing in the mirror.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. Like, yeah. Some
they
people
don't sound
really
too good.
Some people really shouldn't be singing. Some people really shouldn't be rapping either. But where did that whole thing just come from? And how did you know you were good? Like, did people keep telling you were good, or where did all that come from?
Well, I think the jump from poetry into rap isn't a big one. Hip hop, the origins of it, with DJs and poets coming together, spinning and creating the genre of rap, was a beautiful thing that was a collaboration of the arts. And so for me to jump from poetry into rap felt kind of organic. It felt kind of natural. But I mean, I had to get over a lot of fear. I've been performing since I was 14. I'm now 32. So you can do the math. But, it's to do music after growing up in a community where music was haram, music was forbidden in the community that I grew up in. So I had to get over a lot. I had to decide for myself that, if you're doing good music and giving good messages and telling people the things that they need to know, empowering young girls to wear hijab and not be ashamed of who they are, and talking about colonialism and racism and sexism, to talk about those things in a good way, in a positive way. I just decided that if I could do it, that I needed to, because again, at the end of the day, I'm going to die at some point, and God is going to ask me, did you do all that you could? Did you reach all the people that you could reach? And knowing that music reaches more people than poetry, did I push myself as an artist to expand, and to grow into something that was scary for me, especially growing up hearing that it was haram, but believing in my heart that it wasn't, So did I do all that I could do,
Did you ever, feel like going back, just reverting back to the poetry and just taking the music out, doing away with the music that, because you do have a lot of spoken word poets out here that are pretty dope.
Yeah. It's not a knock to poetry, for sure. I feel like I still believe that poetry is the hardest thing that I've ever done. Poetry is it's the most ancient art there is. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he even applauded the poets and brought poets up at the masjid and put them on the minbar and told them to recite, So it's definitely not a knock to poetry. It's more a commentary on modern society and what people listen to, and what especially young kids are interested in. So yeah, I think about it all the time, specifically because it puts me on a platform that I don't even necessarily want. I'm not somebody who ever really wanted to be on stage, but it just so happened that poetry And the kind of poetry that I grew up with happens on stages,
in Flint. In Flint, right? In Flint. Okay.
Yeah, but I still, but personally, once I accepted Islam, my family grew up in music. I mean, that's all we knew from the time I was little to the time I became an adult. I mean, Ready for the World. My first cousin is in the group Ready for the World, but I personally pulled back from it uh, to learn more. For one, I wanted to know more about why people felt it was really so haram. But anyway, long story short, I still sing here and there, but I did pull back from music for that reason.
You sing? You got bars?
Oh, I got a little something going on
You got
up in
bars
here.
like that?
Believe that. I might be an old school.
Listen, I think it's such a shame. It's such a shame. I heard a story one time that Stevie Wonder was interested in Islam, and they told him, the people he happened to be around told him that music was forbidden in Islam. And so
Well, you can't do it right off the rip, for one.
Well,
you introduce somebody to that gradually.
Well, I mean, can you imagine having Stevie Wonder as a Muslim and the kind of music that kind of spiritual liberation could bring?
I thought we was getting that with Mike for a minute. Remember all that thing was going around about your boy? I was like, what?
Yeah. I mean, well, Yusuf Islam. Was that Cat Stevens? Cat Stevens?
But even he pulled away for how long, and it's just such a shame that he wasn't, encouraged to put that artistry that he had into Islam. And instead you just got, different versions of Tala al-Badru alayna, which is beautiful. I mean, it's not to discredit or knock that, but it's to say that we also, we have so much potential, especially as American Muslims, to create our own field, our own thing. And a lot of the time we're controlled by external forces, like the Saudi influence, for instance, that that wants us to all black and wear the same style hijab, and that we're not a monolithic culture, and we were never meant to be.
See, that's what I wanted to know when I was studying. I wanted to know, was this culture? Where was this coming from? How,
Well, I think a lot gets so mixed up, like when people first come to Islam, and then there's so many different schools of thought, and then you have
culture. Some say it's clear what it's saying now.
You have culture, and then you have sex. Not sex, S-C-X, sex.
Ooh, I'm glad you cleared that up.
S-E-C-T-X.
I was going to say, what kind of show this was?
So it's like, it's all like a hodgepodge, and it's all mixed up. And then you may have a sheikh that gives like this huge lecture, full of fiqh and different things like that. And then people run with it like, oh my gosh, And then once again, what we're talking about, then you have social media. And people get on social media and say they feel this way and they feel this way. And then you're going to have a hadith-a-thon, in the comments.
And the whole thing.
What's your delete on that?
Look, the whole thing is to, the whole thing is to be inviting to Islam. So in what I've learned from any of it, and I don't care what you believe. If you believe you're not supposed to be involved in musical instruments or any of that, you still supposed to be inviting to Islam. And you can't give it all to someone at one time. I mean, even if you believe that musical instruments is haram and you shouldn't be involved in it, you still shouldn't because you know what? My name is Rufus, right? I'm just going to tell the story since we're talking about it.
Tell the story, dear.
My name is Rufus. And I don't even like the name, really. It's a name I grew up with. I already know it came from a slave master, from my grandparents.
But it was also his grandfather's name. And it's also his father's name.
But the whole thing is, they told me...
That's why we don't have no son's name.
Unless I change my name. This is why I had to question what was going on with the musical instruments. Is if I don't change my name to an Islamic name, I wasn't Muslim. So I'm trying to find that in Quran where it says you got to change your name, and I get it. I get it. The tafsirs and as far as you you changing things for the sake of Allah. You know what I'm saying? If I change my name, just to because my name is Ismail in Islam. A lot of people don't know that unless you really know me. But actually changing it because another little 15-year-old came to me and he was told the same thing. And I told him, my name is Rufus. He said, yeah, that's why I'm talking to you now. I'm like, well, partner, I mean, and that's why I didn't change my name, was because you can't, again, you can't throw everything that your knowledge, what you feel is 100% to someone coming to this deen, because they may reject it. And I don't want to be on the day of resurrection, you know, you try to, I didn't give them the whole Quran in one day. So how you gonna try to give this young man the whole of Islam and what you believe in one day? Yeah. And you may scare, he might have scared the heck out of all them people. If the Holy Prophet was telling, if Allah revealed that Quran in one day, you probably, man, whatever, dog. Y'all go ahead with this. You know what I'm saying? So right. That's why my name's still Rufus, though.
Right. Had to give 23 years, but some people want to give it to you in 23 minutes.
Yeah, I respect that you don't go by Ismail, because you are who you are, and Islam doesn't come to erase our identities. Islam comes to amplify and beautify us.
I just didn't like Rufus. That's all.
And there's no.
I'm trying to get rid of it. But.
There's no compulsion. But you've gone viral like a few times. A few times. But,
well, describe a few.
Just a few times. But there's pros and cons that come with that. We know that because we've had some videos that hit pretty tough ourselves.
Yeah, they were trying to fry me.
And even just before I even get into this part of it, I gotta say this part. Even just last night, just yesterday, we had this African brother that, I mean, I had to get stern with. He had to get stern with him. I had to get stern with him or whatever, calling us from Gambia, messaging us. Then he starts video calling us from Gambia and stuff like that or whatever. And 9 times out of 10, and this happens like so often with us, that they call from Africa to beg us for money. Right. So, but it's only because maybe you've seen us around somewhere.
I told her, quit showing my face on this social media
like
stuff.
One of our videos or, something like that.
Spot on my face.
You've seen us somewhere, and then automatically you come to our profile, you friend us, and then you start sending us messages. It's like automatic. So it got really, it got kind of ugly.
Well,
yesterday.
Since you're gonna say it, can I just tell y'all people out there, anybody that might see this video, look here. Mm-hmm. You can't call somebody and ask them for money and keep saying Allah wants you to do this. Look, they did that. The Christians do that. I don't know if the Jews do it, but I know Jesus wants you to give. Don't start doing that. Y'all mimicking them when y'all do that stuff. That makes no sense to you. I know what Allah said. You know what Allah said. If you ask me and I can't give it to you, leave me alone. That don't mean keep coming back telling me that Allah wants me to give you money.
And even after we say no, we'll make dua for you, hope your situations, rectifies, different things like that. And you constantly call,
Then I had to show him who Rufus was. Yeah. See, I was trying to be Ismail for a minute. Then Rufus started coming out because
Rufus from Flint came out.
Yeah, well, I'm glad Rufus had to come out because Jenny from the block.
The other Rufus, the younger Rufus came out.
Jenny from the block didn't need to come out. So I'm glad it was Rufus. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. Pros and cons that come totally with that. Okay.
You can't force your Islam on nobody else. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
Reel it in, dear.
I
reel it in.
Woo-sa.
Okay. So let's talk about the challenges. Let's talk about the challenges with going viral.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I'm an introverted person. I'm not somebody who ever craved that kind of relationship with notoriety or public anything. And I think that's why God did that because it's a test for me. I really feel that, and for some people the test is obscurity and they crave that kind of thing, and that's the test. So I mean, I struggle with having a public personality. Managing that can be very difficult emotionally for me. But you just got to do your best, and I know that like Allah doesn't test us with more than we can bear. So I know I can handle it, inshallah. And like my passion definitely lies more in religion and like working as a chaplain. So like why did I get this public platform and I didn't even want it? It's like I said, I think Allah did that in a way because I didn't really want it,
Me neither, sis.
Mm.
and I think that's the test and that's the challenge that I'm supposed to get through. There's so many challenges and struggles that come with going viral. People only see the positive stuff. People only see like, oh, you're getting your message out there or you're getting what you want or whatever. And actually, so much hate comes with it.
Yeah.
So much negativity. I've been called every name under
Mhm.
God's great sky. Every single bad word name ends up in my inbox, death threats. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff, all because I'm trying to talk about like, Muslim women, don't be ashamed of your hijab. Like, why does that bother some people so much?
Mhm.
I'm talking about colonialism and owning our identities and not being ashamed of who we are. Like that really bothers some people, apparently. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I know that Allah did this for a reason, and I just have to trust it. But it definitely is a challenge, and I struggle with it all the time. I kind of thought, my music would, kind of get sort of cult popular in some Muslim audiences, and that would be it. I didn't know that it would go as far and reach as wide as it did. And I didn't even like want that, So that's the interesting piece about that. So
Yeah, it's and you were about to say something?
Well, I was gonna say that. I mean, here again, um, there's a lot of young people coming to Islam, right? I mean, a lot of people, period. But the young people are already struggling with what they learned and what Islam teaches. So again, I'm just saying to some of the older folks who have more knowledge, like me, I pull back from music. But you can't expect everybody to come and say, okay, that's it. I do believe in the oneness of Allah, but you want them to give up all of what they're doing. But I'll challenge everybody to say that Allah revealed that Quran in different portions for a reason,
yeah,
right? And it was not as to throw everything on everybody, and then all of a sudden everybody was running from Islam again. He kind of wanted it to come. What do we call it? Organically, right? And that's kind of how it happened for the Holy Prophet of Sallam, which, alhamdulillah, my understanding is inshallah better than some. I know it's not. My understanding is not what others is, and then they may want to push what they believe on me or type of thing. It's nothing wrong with us giving the dawah, but it's how we give the dawah that I have a concern with. That's all I'm saying. So
Yeah,
anyway,
and
sis,
it's
I mean, if so, I can believe that the hate that you got,
oh
right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
as soon as
but
the Ready for the World became successful, oh my goodness, we
it
were child girl.
what is interesting is you don't expect it to come from Muslims. That is always because you feel that you're doing something good for Islam. So whenever you get any type of negativity from Muslims, and I understand,
I just
even
think we're doing
even
wrong by Muslims when we do that.
even without some of the things it's saying, even without going viral or some of the things that we do, we get the strangest comments or it from Muslims, and sometimes I just try to understand, like, are y'all serious with this? Yeah,
yeah.
like, yeah, you know what
I
I'm
believe
saying?
in the
Like,
oneness of Allah, and I believe in His
Are so
messenger.
out of pocket when their jealousy and their envy comes up, and they don't even understand what all went into how hard you worked for what you got, or if you wanted it or not. Their jealousy and envy just comes out of nowhere, and they turn into little green monsters. I feel like Muslims especially, I received the most hate, I would say, from Muslims in a certain, like you were saying, sect, and then people like Republican type of personalities. And those two communities really came hard and really came after me. Like, she's promoting Sharia, and also she's the devil, she's the Dajjal.
And see, that's oppression. And oh, that's Sharice. That is oppression. You know what I'm saying? We can't. We shouldn't be oppressing each other. Again, just because you believe, just because look, I can say it all day long. But again, that's one of the reasons I'm here with this platform, because they were looking at Muslim marriages as something different. I'm like, partner, I go through the same thing you go through in your marriage. I don't know what you're thinking about.
But it's amazing, like, alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful for Islam, because I really know that if this is happening, that I can handle it. So, that's a promise from God. And I just feel so grateful for Islam teaching me that I can handle it and I can do it.
Oh, you handle it, sister. Oh, mama
Yeah,
be handling it.
definitely. I mean, but your personality, your personality, your persona, everything that's in you, and that's how you handle it. A lot of times people will tell me, because we test me, like, we get some of the strangest comments, and I just, I have to respond, because I
Well,
end up,
do I care?
no, he
Do
doesn't care,
I
but
care?
I have to end up eventually responding to these people and blocking them, because he's always in my ear about how I handle people, especially Muslims. Said, be gentle in how you handle
Yeah,
Muslims.
you do
Okay,
be rough.
that's fine.
Woo.
That's the initial
Sometimes they
thing.
need a little rough hand. Nobody ever came strict with them. And I feel like a lot of Muslims are entitled and spoiled in some way. Like, a lot of Muslims have a lot of privilege, and we don't recognize that everybody is going through their own struggle and test from God. We just want to be the judge and just
Say it again.
Oh yeah,
judge
but that's the
everybody that
initial
they're
thing,
doing
sis.
wrong.
That's the initial thing. I'm gentle, and I give you that benefit. But then in turn, like, your next response is total disrespect. I'm sorry. Then I gotta go there. It's coming. I'm
She'd be
coming
like,
for you.
"Oh, you
I'm
think you're
sorry.
talking to Rufus? Oh no, this is Jenny, but
Yeah.
this is Jenny, the other Jenny you don't want to see."
Yeah. And then I
I
have
believe
to.
the kind of content that you guys come with, I'm sure it challenges a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It
Oh, I mean, hey, I'm gonna challenge everything. But look, again, I don't want what I don't want in Islam is for us to force what we think on others. The imam, when they're giving khutbahs, they give the khutbah, they give you the information. It's on us to take the information and go process it, and inshallah, we either adhere to it, or we don't, or we think about it a little bit longer. But again, it does not come when everybody wants you to stop doing what you're doing right then. It does not work. It hasn't worked. So why you gonna keep doing it? It ain't worked for you in how many years?
Yeah. Has it ever come? You said the death threats, because I'm really cool with Linda Sosauer, and I know she gets, just
Yeah, I went around
all
that
kind
since
of
I had to
stuff.
be doing one of those ducking.
Yeah,
Just in case, I don't know.
all kinds of stuff. But has it ever come to the point where it's safety and concern for your family?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've had people try to find me in real life, but I'm very careful about social media and, like, not posting. Like, if I eat at a restaurant and I post something about it, it's not till I'm already gone from that place. I have enough experience after all these years to know how to be safe, alhamdulillah. And I know that ultimately my safety is in the hands of God. So, you do your best to tie your camel, and the rest is with God. So, I try not to think about that kind of stuff too much. I try to just not fixate on not just the haters, but also, like, the people who actually mean you harm, you
Mhm.
know. And like the way of Sayyidina Muhammad and the way of Sayyidina Isa, like, no weapons against me shall prosper. That's just, like, that is the reality when we put our trust in God. So I try to do that and not focus on those kind of really those damaged people.
Harsh. Mhm. Well,
Yeah,
and I want to challenge these brothers. I want to. It's not just the brothers, some sisters too, but I want to challenge them and give the information. Challenge yourself. Give the information and then let it go. Don't give the information and keep giving the information until you think you're going to get what you want, because what you might get may be a total rejection of what you're trying to push to somebody else.
How does your husband feel about all of that? Like, when you're getting the comments and the threats and so much negativity and different things like that. Because these are our protectors. These are our people. Like,
Oh, I'm gonna
hold
protect
up.
mine.
Hold up
Come
now.
this way if you want.
Yeah. So how does your husband feel about all of that?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm very lucky in that I have totally handed off all of my sort of emails and everything onto him. So he is kind of the processor of all of that information now. So I don't even have to deal with it.
Ooh, let me answer a couple of emails up in here.
Yeah, exactly. So and it's not even in the way of protection, but I just know that information affects me very differently than it affects him. He kind of, it just rolls right off his back. And typically they're not passing off their threats on him. It's about me. So he can get hot, but he also knows how to process it in a healthy way. And I feel like I have autoimmune issues, and I just know when I read that kind of stuff, it kind of gets into my body. Like I feel it. And yeah, so I just feel very lucky for him, and that he has taken on that mantle and that role of sort of protection and protecting me from even the information that comes through. Like I don't even want to know. I don't read comments anymore. I'm not on any social media right now, which has been amazing for my health and from all of that. But I do want to shout out to Vasha Misunderstood. She's on here. She's left a few love comments, and hey Tavasha, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the girl right
Yes,
there, boy.
that is my girl. Like I just
She be
love
doing her
her.
little poses and stuff.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
I'm like, what the girl got on today?
she's such a
That latest outfit, that shoe is incredible. That
Right, right.
fly, super duper fly. No.
so
We're gonna keep her question up because we're gonna answer that coming into our next question. But I just wanted to say, may Allah protect you greatly, sis. I love for my sisters. I'll be sending duas for Linda like all the time, every time I hear stuff. Even when I go and comment like on her posts and stuff like that, like people will come for me. And it's just like, I'm talking to her.
Oh, you think
You
you gonna
know-
say something up in here without me saying
Yeah,
something?
like I'm talking to her. How
Girl.
dare you? Like, why are you talking to me? I be starting to get Italian. You talking to me? You talking to me?
Ooh, well, speak some Italian for me, girl. Let me hear it.
I'm turning into Scarface up in here. You know what I'm
I
saying?
wouldn't even compare what she has to go through. She has such a huge platform, and she's really
Oh, she is going through it.
Yeah.
really battles empire, capital E empire, all of these people with a lot of power and money. I'm just trying to do music. Like I wouldn't even compare.
Girl, we just talk about marriage.
Right. We got difference of opinion in marriage up in here.
Exactly.
But again,
we talk about black people. I mean,
I
it's
challenge
amazing.
I challenge
It's
Muslims, I
amazing.
challenge Christians. Tell me something different that we go through in marriage. I mean, what besides the prayer? But heck, they got problem with prayer in their marriage too.
Okay. Social media is a whole trip. Keep that up because we're coming to this. Social media is a whole trip. It's a trip and a half. It will take you a trip around the world.
As long as there's no big rock I trip over. I'm good.
Literally. And we talked a little bit about our YouTube journey earlier, but just a little bit more in regards to it. We walked away from YouTube like 4 years ago because we found that they were suppressing our videos.
Oh, we got up like I got up like what?
Yeah, they
Oh,
were suppressing
man.
our videos.
Shoot, what's up,
They were making stupid
Walked
people
on.
famous. People doing just the most dumb stuff coming down as suggested videos for you to watch, different things like that. And we're like,
Then
why?
we walked on
They're
back in it like this right here.
the same thing that people complained about in regards to TikTok, with it being a disparaging between, white people getting all the views and the push and different things like that, and black people doing certain stuff, and they were getting suppressed. So last month, no, this is December, 2 months ago, the end of October, they've made a change, I guess, because of the
And
racial
they still
awakening,
suppressing.
and also because of the competition that they have from TikTok now. And so now, and we even got something in our inbox the other day. Now they've opened up the platform a little bit more. Of course, they they understand that they haven't been fair to everyone. This is, you should see how this thing reads, like, and they want to make sure that more all voices are included, for the platform. Now, come on now. Don't
Convenient for them, right? Now that
don't
it's
that sound, yeah, don't that sound a little guilty, of what y'all were doing?
Well, they know
Okay.
exactly what they was doing.
But now
we know what they were doing.
now that there's TikTok, and now that Instagram has Reels, and even YouTube is getting into something, and now we have this whole other thing, Clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? There's so much more. Yeah, there's so much more competition out here in regards to that. And once again, it feeds the monkey. It's feeding the addiction. Yeah, to get that brass monkey off your back.
You gotta, we bought a monkey up in here. I ain't never seen that
it's
monkey.
that brass monkey, that funky monkey.
I don't know
Okay,
about that monkey.
it's that monkey. You got to get that monkey up off the back. So let's talk about it. Because you've gone viral on these platforms for your message. So how would you do your message now, and how would social media even fit into your platforms, and how would you measure that success?
Yeah, it's also different than when I first started, so I feel like in 2016, 2017, when I first put out my first song, I didn't have PR, I didn't have nothing. It was just me, and a producer that I had worked with, and that was it. And I put out the video. Like we drove down to Detroit and Dearborn. We shot the video, and one day I flew back to New York, and we put out the video within a month. It was all very basic. And I didn't have marketing, I didn't have PR, I didn't have press connections, I didn't have anything. And so when I did it all, it was just by the seat of my pants, and I just pressed, upload, and that was it. I didn't do any promotion or anything. And I feel like now you can't get away with that kind of stuff because of the way these algorithms are built. Like I know for a fact that I'm shadow banned on Instagram. And not only does it make me not want to use it anymore, it also lets me understand that what I've been talking about is dangerous for these platforms. Because I'm telling people to not waste their time. I'm telling people to be free and get liberated. I'm telling people to not let anybody control their thoughts and their minds and their lives. And instead to do critical thinking. And they don't like that,
Them jokers put on the brakes. Hey,
we know.
Good morning, good morning. That one right there. Good morning.
I've had countless supporters, followers, and fans say they found themselves, they were unsubscribed, they were unfollowed on my accounts. They couldn't find me. They would search for me. They couldn't find it. And these are people who have been following me and fans since, I was doing poetry in my poetry days. So that this stuff is some kind of like
we know
warfare.
We've been shadow banned on Instagram. Whenever the past 4 years, whenever we talked about politics or said something about the president, like our next post got like low engagement, like really, really low engagement.
I wouldn't know how many people was watching my stuff if it wasn't for logging off. Because if I went by what they said, it's always about 4 to 20 people.
Yeah.
When I log off, it's like 600 to 1,000.
Yeah, and then they do that, and they push, once again, like I say, they push the stupid stuff.
I better quit saying that. They're about to make my stuff go lower
to the front of the algorithm. So this is the thing, though, Mona. It's like, so how do you navigate that? If you didn't have social media, if you don't use your social media at all, how do you measure your success, or what are you doing, or how do you get your message out?
Yeah, I feel like I thank God for the fact that I've never seen my quote unquote success as based in numbers or based in views or based in any of that, because I'm telling the truth when I say that I was never after that. I was really after supporting young people who were maybe hesitant in their deen, or felt conflicted or were confused or were having a hard time, like I put out a song called Lifted because I was dealing with postpartum depression, and I wanted people to feel like they weren't alone if they've been through depression. And I put out my song Dog to support, victims of spiritual and other types of abuse. I really think social media is making us feel more alone rather than less alone, which is what it was intended to do. And that makes me question the actual intent, that supposed intent of what it was meant to do. I don't actually believe it's social. I believe it is anti-social media, and that it's meant to, in a way, put us in these echo chambers and these silos where we don't actually want to hear each other. We just want to see our own faces. We just
Oh,
hear our own voices and
oh my gosh.
we gotta say, and we want to see how cute our pictures are and
Oh,
boost our own egos. And I'm just not here for that as a Muslim. I recognize what it's doing to my ego, and I'm just not interested in that life. And until I can sort out a way where I feel that this social media is not hurting my faith, that it's gonna have to stop. So I don't see it as success, because my success has always been determined by my faith. And so for me, am I using my time wisely? Am I being more kind? Am I being more generous? Am I putting my faith first? That's always been my priority. And that's the whole reason I got into music. So the views and all of that stuff doesn't matter to me. Whether my platform grows or it dissolves, honestly,
Well, may Allah
there is
reward you for your
yes,
efforts,
yes,
because
yeah.
again, he does go by intention, and I feel
Mhm.
again, when people come after you about music or anything, they're forgetting about what the intention is. Now, I get it. There's some Dali on, even if
Dalil,
you use
yeah.
Dali on,
Mm.
even if you use by Harameen, but it depends on what. Look, I believe in Allah. I believe that if we all say we believe in Allah and His Messenger, which most Muslims do, even the ones that we don't agree with. Um, we should, as our Muslim communities are breaking up because of these things,
and
and these
we're losing
things
our
should not
kids,
be.
we're losing our youth.
Yeah.
These are not how we
And
should break up the Muslim community, because as long as they believe in the oneness of Allah and they're not sitting up here talking about I pray in the name of Jesus again, we have potential to become this not only great society, but do right by each other.
and also what you're saying in regards to as far as social media not really being a good thing, there is a level of narcissism that exists on social media. And even with this new app, this Clubhouse app, there's a serious, like, it's narcissism 2.0.
I
Like,
just deleted it. I deleted it.
it was oh my gosh, we're going slow. Like, I think maybe we only have like 20 followers out there, people coming. I don't promote it, barely go on it. I've been in and out of rooms. I go in, my eyebrows raised, my nose turns up, and I have to come out, you know what I'm saying? Because and then people love to flock to these celebrities open these rooms, and you go in there and it's just mass cluster, just it's crazy. And I'm just like, okay, I'm really trying to change people's lives here. I got people marriages that are not, that's good here. I don't have
I ain't trying to
hours.
change life. I'm just trying to put some good information
I
out
don't
there
have
for you.
hours to sit over here for y'all to be figuring out, saying that y'all making 5, 6, 7 figures and all of this type of stuff, whatever. Why don't y'all give? Y'all making 6, 7 figures or whatever. Why don't y'all give more? Why don't I see y'all giving more? How
Yeah.
about that? So yeah, that's the situation.
Did you get all that off your chest?
Yeah, with that social media.
go
But I
ahead
want to
on.
answer Savasha, but misunderstood before we get off. She said, "This is for Rufus and Jenny. Does having a military background help you combat negativity on social media?" I was Jenny from the block.
Well, Rufus Triplet Senior
before
kind of
I
helped me do that.
I was Jenny from the
That was
block
Joe Jackson.
before I was military Jenny. Okay, so my
And
upbringing as Mary Jennings' daughter, and her no nonsense way of life, and me and my curtain. 'Cause I've had this ever since I stepped out the womb. So that
What, the grill?
that no, this lip. Okay. So
Oh
that
yeah,
helps
I've
me.
dealt with that for 30 years.
Yeah, that helps me a little bit. And like I said, if you guys follow us, I give people a chance. I'm not snippy at first. I don't do that. I give you an opportunity because maybe it didn't come out right. Maybe you just didn't say it right. Maybe that's not
No,
what
they said what they
you
said. See,
meant you to say.
I take what you say at face value up in here.
But then when you respond to me and it's that, okay, then we have another situation going on.
But
here.
Rufus Triplett Sr., he had me chopping down trees and digging up the whole backyard. Boy, I had so much in me before I even went to the military. I'm looking at the military. What is this? This ain't nothing right here.
Yeah. So that as far as, and trust me, sometimes you'll post something and you don't even realize what somebody is saying something negative. It's like somebody has something.
Oh, I know
negative,
if it's negative.
Like if you posted some pink roses and somebody said, "Well, I only like white." Well, these ain't the white ones. These the pink ones.
I knew when they posted them pink ones, something was wrong.
Is that what type of day you're having? That's the best comment you can come up with. You can't just keep scrolling. You just had to say something.
Oh, can we get this back about Mona, please?
You had to say something.
No, I love
Mona Lisa.
You have a good foundation. When you were raised right, when you had good home training, like nothing can mess you up, when you kind of know where you come from and who you are.
Yeah, I just kind of wish she wouldn't have put that axe in my hand at such a young age.
Hey, man, my son is my older one is about to turn 7, and the other one's about to turn 4, and they both have held axes and hatchets and
put them to work, Mona. Make them work for it. Okay.
They gotta learn. They gotta learn about that kind of stuff because
backbreaking.
No, I think more so it's about a connection to nature and the outside. And
well, I didn't need that connection, Mona. He almost broke my back with that dang on X. That was a big old tree trying to chop that joker down.
Well, Mona, you are off the grid, ma'am. You're off the grid. So tell folks what you're doing and how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, well, I am currently off social media, but you're still welcome to follow me. I still have a lot of stuff up that you can go through. It's at the most Mona on Instagram, and then on YouTube it's just Mona Haidar at Mona Haidar. And I have my music videos up. Everything is still up, but I am working on a longer form project right now and hoping to be finished in the next few weeks here. And God willing, that will be something very different. Actually, it's a project about Flint, about growing up in Flint.
Oh, wow.
Growing up kind of between communities, between identities, what it is to be, kind of not white, not black, just kind of.
One is gonna be like, I used to be a neighborhood Nino, treated like it.
You need a Flint project.
Who? I don't need no Flint.
Yes,
I'm gonna look at Mona Flint project.
Growing up on Iroquois.
Yes.
Hey, why are you bringing back them memories? I'm trying to forget.
Growing up Flint Northern.
I'm trying to forget here.
You need a Flint project.
Everybody hates on Flint so much, but I'm so proud to be a Flintstone. To be,
we see. Look at her.
I'm so proud to be from Bedrock. Like it's such a badge of honor for me. Like it is a place of struggle for a lot of people, but it also teaches you how to be strong. And
hey, so does Saginaw, Sag Nasty. Okay.
Hey, Mona, she be trying to get that in, but we know.
Listen, my brother-in-law's from Saginaw, so definitely.
Really?
Great. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, do the Saginaw Indian dance for us then.
Anywho, we appreciate you. We appreciate you being here so much, Mona.
Miss Navajo.
We appreciate you coming from out of your hideaway.
Well, I made this commitment to you, and I honor my commitment. So thank you so much for having me on. It was a blessing to connect with you.
See, that's part of being Muslim. See, y'all, she is Muslim. I honor my commitments.
Yes, and go follow her, the most Mona. So when she breaks out with her project about Flint, we definitely gonna check it out because that's old stomping grounds. And maybe y'all just to learn something about
Inshallah.
being a good Muslim. How about that?
Well,
Yeah.
we're all trying. We're all trying, inshallah.
Ooh, we
Okay.
finna get out of here on time today.
Yes,
Look
we
at
are.
my
Thanks
wife.
everybody for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to share this with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, this is our last interview for 2020. We going out with a bang. Okay, this is our last interview.
Hey, and all I got to say is Muslims, let everybody learn at their own pace. Leave them alone.
Oh Lord.
Hmm?
See y'all soon.
I just because
See
I talk
y'all.
slower, they
See
might
y'all
know.
in the new year. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.